Hello to you all. Where does one even begin with this energy? I feel like everything is changing and on multiple levels. There's an energy I started feeling from yesterday, an anxiety, but with an awareness that it is not only mine. Perhaps actually thinking it's not mine at all, but not wanting to bypass that and address which parts of it are mine and which parts are not. I have been feeling this on a body level, like my entire body, as far as its structure, its makeup. I've been feeling it in my heart, from my solar plexus through my heart, wanting to speak but not ready, but needing to allow my heart to open, because at the same time there's been this energy waiting to enter my crown. And so it feels like a splitting of the heart, a cracking of something fundamental in the heart. Painful, sad, bringing up deep wounds. Not wounds I'm afraid of, but wounds I didn't have this kind of awareness of. And also an influx of information coming in. Last week I shared a video on the winds are changing, and I believe that prepared me for this time, because usually, when I feel like this earthquake energy, it completely throws me off. But this time I found myself in observation mode, wanting to understand what this feeling is, accepting that I do, as a human, experience all of these emotions as they happen, which then allowed me to accept what change is happening inside me and what change is happening in the collective. And it's not just the collective. It's also the collective, like this outer collective that doesn't have the awareness that we have. That's as far as I'm willing to actually call it. A whole lot of names have come into my mind, but that wouldn't be okay. And what I'm seeing is that we are making way. And one word that kept coming up, two words, one word that kept coming up was, to keep it simple, ground. Ground. And so as complex as the feelings feel, as intense as they feel, it's a time to remember basics. My head is shivering here on my left. My whole crown is shivering. And I knew that I was only going to be able to unpack this if I showed up here, because when I read for myself, I don't get access to the same depth of information that I have when I connect with you. There's more information when I connect with you. And so we're making way, and to make way, the heart needs to crack. It needs to crack to stretch. And the reason why this is happening at the same time is because there's so many things happening. We're making way while we're actually flipping. We are transferring platforms. Like a train station. There are all these moving trains, and we're actually jumping. And by platforms and trains, I'm talking about timelines. And this timeline, it's happening on a physical level, on an individually internal inner level. So that's our understanding of ourselves, how we perceive ourselves. and how we communicate ourselves. So that is shedding a whole lot of stuff, like automatically it's just falling off. You know, like not caring anymore. This is like the overnight shift into not caring. There's so much happening inside, and so much needing to get to know what's going on inside oneself and what in reality is going on with the world, that there's no time to filter it, to allow others to be comfortable. And it's like in this moment of needing to regain comfort with oneself, nothing else matters. And this is an important time, because all in the same moment, we're needing to stretch to make way for new information to help the collective. And the only way to do that, you know, we're all in a system. The only way to do that is to gain a better understanding of where we are and to shed our limitations. And the thing is, you know, there is this feeling of constantly being in this state of evolution, this never-ending destination that we're faced with. That's real. But it's inherent to the experience. It's inherent to the experience. And I find, perhaps I'm even guilty of placing dates on when things are going to happen and listening to other people's timing stuff. But in a sense, it is never ending, and the only thing that shifts is the perspective and one's relationship to the present moment, and what can be shared in the present moment, and what growth can be attained in this moment. And I got a confirmation that this is a timeline shift. It's like it started with that. I've had this increased sensitivity to energy, and I never imagined that there could be more. But I suppose that's why we stretch, to be able to access more. But I've even had almost like sudden lapses in time. You know, like when you're watching a movie and there's a glitch, a slight glitch where you even wonder whether you noticed. Or sometimes you're indoors and the light, like you feel like you saw a flash of darkness. I was just at the sink and I saw time shift. I saw it. And it was the second time it was happening. So when I saw it, I recognized, no, I'm not dizzy. I'm not sick. I'm not hungry. I'm hydrated. What I saw is exactly what I saw. And hence, this solar plexus of mine that's been feeling uncomfortable and shifting to actually expand my capacity for my confidence, to know what I know, to reach that truth quicker, just knowing it and not needing someone else to confirm it for me. And many things I don't need someone else to confirm for me, but there are things that I do. However, this experience feels very personal. And when I say personal, I mean some of the things that I'm experiencing, I don't even think I can Google them. And so I'm here to say this is shared. This is shared. And what's actually happening, the need for grounding is like, you can't have all of this information enter your system, because what it's doing is actually shifting us on a physical level. So you can't have all of this information rush in when the body is not grounded enough to receive it. And so in a sense, the information is actually already with us. And it's not hovering around, and then if you don't open the door, it's going to leave. It's already around and in us. And so that's the need, and maybe you've heard it somewhere else as well, the need to rest, ground. And so the only need right now is to stabilize and ease the mind. Become the observer. You are a part of the experience, but you need to pause from dealing with the experience to be able to do what they call rest. And so that you can be still enough, calm enough to be able to receive information. And this idea of information is like, it's not a paragraph of words and what you need to do next. That's not what I'm referring to, and perhaps it's there as well, but that's not what I'm referring to, because I believe that the capacity to see that kind of information that I just referred to see that kind of information, ground it, know what to do with it, that comes with what's on the other side. But right now, this feeling of chaos, this feeling of worrying, not sure what you're worried about, and then what you're doing is taking things that you previously perceived as problematic and problems and bad, taking those and bringing them into the current experience. No. And I'm not saying beat yourself up for doing that. I'm saying that is over internalizing the events. Simplify the experience, ground. And the other word that kept coming up is solace. And I did look it up just to see if there was something else that I wasn't seeing about the word solace. But I kept hearing solace is within. And so that's where this piece is. My voice just shifted, the audio of my voice just changed by a frequency there. It's peace. It's remembering that you are a body, a human body here on earth with so many things happening around you. But your experience is just not subject to the same circumstances as others. I don't know how else to put that. But I'm saying at this point of the journey, it is irrational to revert to past reactions and mental activity of how you used to think things were. You've witnessed too many things now to revert to that. That happened with the audio again. I mean, maybe I'm the only one who can hear it. It's like, and so what I was being told to do yesterday, and I have delayed just because I also just wanted to be in the space, see how I'm interacting with it, see how I'm responding to it before I express myself. But I was called to run a past, present, and future. So I'm going to pull cards for this. And I'm just trying to figure out, this is what's in my hand, so we'll use these. And this is the purpose, is to take you there, for a moment, to bring perspective, and then to bring you back into the present moment, And then to tell you and share, not tell you, sorry, to share with you what message it comes from the future. All all to bring us back to the present where we are now. Shapeshifter, transform and unveil your gifts. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull all the cards first. This is where I am. Warrior woman, have you answered your deepest calling? And dandelion. We keep being visited by this card. Number 9, healing. And again, the word promises keeps coming up. And it came up with a new nuance to it for me. The idea that promises are personal, wishes need to be kept to oneself in order for them to come true. And I believe that it's in this processing that we witness in the future these dreams coming true, these promises we made to ourselves coming true. This future message, and I'm starting in the future, but this future message is telling me, like if we look at it as future version of you is saying, I know you're tired. I know you're tired. However, I'm working with you in this present moment to bring you healing. To bring you healing so that we can meet. And we are going to meet in the present moment. And what the present moment has for us is clarity. And this warrior woman is also reminding me of this recognition of how much you've been through, your strength. So not just, there's always that thing of other people watching a person and sort of being like this silent opinion that we sometimes hear of how much can she or he, how much can they take? And this is like shutting out that voice and actually really reckoning with oneself and really realizing, I can take a lot. I can take a lot. I can be still and move all at the same time, under a lot of pressure. And while under pressure, I still know how to feel light. In the darkness, I still know how to find the light. And that's how this feels. It feels like everything is changing so quickly, yet it's like everything is different, yet everything is the same. And I wasn't sure whether I was going to be able to communicate this properly. But what this is also doing, if you can see these ancient structures in the background, against the contrast of what she's wearing, and she looks like she comes from the future, but the background is in the past. And her sword represents the clarity that she's reaching, and that she must be a warrior to be able to get across both places and still feel the wind blowing through her hair. And so that's where we are now, is a welcoming of clarity by having a look at the past, peering into the past. This peering into the past can take you might find yourself really peering into your past to the extent where you call on all that energy without asking for it. You see yourself sitting in a room that you used to sit in, feeling a feeling you used to feel, and observing it as this version of you. So do you also see that in a sense, there is also right now in this moment a future version of you looking at you, watching you? And so I'm traveling time with you here because you visited the past and observed yourself, and this future, this now version of you is assisting that version to process. This version of you is what got you through that. So there are so many versions of you that are working with you all at once. And this is I thought I lost us there. Always scary. That moment that just happened, and my reaction being, I thought I lost us there. I used the word us, and I think it's relating to this portion of the reading right now. Is so much has happened. One is actually in too deep to back down or run away. And so there's a comfort that's being found with what the future holds. And this was you in the past. You're a shapeshifter. I'm seeing this snake, I'm seeing a wolf, I'm seeing an eagle, I'm seeing a human that can tell that there's more animal in them than they thought they had. And I feel called to, this card is particularly telling me that I need to read from the book. It's not giving me much right now. And so it's sending me here. Shapeshifter. Take your time and focus on developing your gifts and strengths. Okay, so that was I'm taken to this moment because when I was processing my past moment, this was last night, it sent me back to my office where I used to do my readings, where I started connecting with my cards, and how that used to be my peace. It used to be where I went to forget and to play. That's what I was doing. I was transforming and unveiling my gifts to myself. And now moving into this present moment, this experience has completely shifted. I'm not the same young lady who was reading cards, still fluffing around, figuring out what to do. Feeling alone, lonely, hurt, desperate. I'm not the same person, yet I am. I'm the same individual with a similar face. Actually, lots has changed. But this has now become what I consider my life's work. What used to be an escape has become my life's work. This, to me, this message is revealing to me something else. It's telling me whatever your pastime is now, your pastime, and even if you've put it aside or something you like doing, consider that can transform you to the same extent that this experience I'm sharing with you, consider that it's in these immersions, in the things that we just love and do for ourselves, that we shapeshift and change completely and become many things without even realizing that we're becoming many things. In native traditions, a shapeshifter is either an animal that has the capacity to change between species, or a shaman who has this capacity to transform into an animal to go journeying. If there is a wild animal you're particularly drawn to or fascinated by, it's probably because you can transform into one in your meditation or journaling or journeying practice to go exploring in other worlds. When you shift into animal form, you can see the world through different eyes and tap into the animal's survival skills to help yourself through a particular situation. You may have been through many challenges and lows, but now you are in a space of transformation. You are moving beyond your past challenges and honing your current strengths. There are opportunities for you to discover and rediscover the gifts and talents that you were born with and born to share. All of your past experiences have only helped you see how strong you really are. You are an amazing soul who can change and transform in ways that people least expect. You have many talents that you will share in your lifetime. You are guided to stay focused on the light, knowing that it will guide you forward. When this card arrives, there's also an opportunity for you to tap into the power of your spirit animal. Note if you're seeing a particular animal regularly, because its medicine is coming to you. And so I realize now why this reading was done like this. And it is to bring past, present, and future into one place, to draw the wisdom out of the past, and to realize that this moment too is going to be the past, is the past. And so what can be achieved in the past, through the past, realized in the present, can be achieved in the present as well. And I knew going in here that this was going to be a very feels like quantum-y, it's like all of these versions of us are collecting in one moment. And it feels like we are experiencing a glitch in the system. There is a glitch. And I don't know how it's going to affect everyone else. I'm going to pull one more card just to close. A message in closing. Magic Guardian. Unlock the magic within. Her smoke that she's got in her, I'll just call it a cup in her hand, is reminding me of coming back to the present, whatever grounding practice there is to stay peaceful. The smoke is also reminding me of transformation, to remember transformation in the stillness. And to remember that your magic is so protected. It's so protected, and it's inside, and it has its own way of working with you. And so it might crack you. It might make you think you're going to break, but it's not. It is stretching you. This bird that's singing up above me is called a grey lory. And I don't know whether you have them where you are. They're beautiful big grey birds. I can't even see it. I just know that I know its call. And to me, it always tells me that my paternal ancestors are around. there's a sound it makes, and I don't know if I'm going to make it correctly, but it goes Wah! Which is my maiden surname, Nkwe. And so when I see that bird, it has a very majestic appeal to it, and it's got a presence. It has a presence. It's a large bird. It's quite large. It could look like this big. And so when I see it, or when I hear it, I always stop and acknowledge the presence of my paternal ancestors, who apparently lined up a female recipient of their gifts to represent their work. Sending you love.